The WGA strike is over, and now we have the SAG-AFTRA strike in negotiations with the studios, which they're currently engaged in. And me personally, I think a lot of the reason this is still going on is just for the simple fact that when the SAG-AFTRA called for a strike, the Writers Guild was already on strike. So the actors are thinking like, well, what's the point of reaching a deal with the studios when we're not going to be able to work anyway because the writers are on strike? So we might as well just go on strike too and try to get a little bit more than what we normally would. And I think that's fine, but there are some sticking points to this, which could be a little bit tricky for this. I mean, right now we got this article right here from NPR talking about how this isn't necessarily a cut and dry thing, but still me and a lot of other people are saying this will probably be resolved in a few weeks. Scrolling on to the article, SAG-AFTRA strike captain Kate Bond, who's best known for her role in the reboot of the TV series MacGyver, said she isn't so certain about a speedy outcome. A lot of people don't understand how different our demands are from the WGA's demands, Bond said. Bond said, unlike the WGA, actors' unions represent many types of performers, actors, dancers, stunt people, each with specific needs that need to be addressed. And this is one of the more interesting ones, at least in my opinion. Artificial intelligence, for example, is especially an existential threat for background actors, some of whom say they've already had their bodies scanned for reuse. And notice it says background actors because a lot of people will talk about artificial intelligence in the realm of actual like regular actors, performers in this. I mean, we had something come out today talking about that. Tom Hanks tells followers to beware AI video promoting dental plan. I have nothing to do with it. And this is the image that he shared onto his Instagram account. I mean, and as you can see, it's clearly not him. I mean, I don't think, at least for right now, AI technology is to the point where it can replicate regular actors. At least not with any believability. I mean, but if this is something I think should be addressed to a point because technology does improve. I mean, and this is obviously a quick and cheap one, but you can get versions of it that are significantly better. I got this video pulled up just with the same deal.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me?
So yeah, I mean that's pretty good. I mean, not necessarily the most believable. I mean, it got kind of dead eyes. It's also very simplistic, just standing in front of a camera or whatever. But this has obviously had a little bit more work done to it, and this was uploaded 2 years ago. So can technology improve to the point where we can get named actors as the completely digital creations? Well, sure, but I think there's already currently laws on the books for something like that. I mean, in a famous case from Back to the Future 2, actor Crispin Glover, who was George McFly in the first movie, had like certain casts of his face done for makeup effects for when he was older and stuff in the movie, like towards the start and the end of the movie. And he didn't reach a deal with the producers to reprise his role for the second movie. So basically what they did is they recast it, which is completely fine. Movies do that all the time. But what they did do is got casts of his face that he made for the first movie and use it to make prosthetic effects for the actor in the second movie to try to make him look more like Crispin Glover, which he ended up suing and winning that case because he didn't give him permission to use his likeness or use those casts for that purpose. And I think we can kind of see the same thing when it comes to artificial intelligence. I mean, right now, one of the issues here is talking about background actors specifically, and I can fully understand that being an issue for a background actor. I mean, especially when you're just in a crowd. I mean, how are you going to argue in court that, like, yeah, that person in the background right there, that was me. It was a scan from some other movie that they got like, I don't know, like, let's say 100 people, and they were trying to replicate it into a crowd of thousands of people. So they scanned us all, and that was for this movie, and this is me in the background for this. I mean, you can see how it'd be difficult to kind of prove that case. So I can understand why you want to get it on the contracts that, like, if you're a background actor, they can't do something like that, or if you're an extra, they can't do that. Especially since a lot of them probably don't have the resources to actually sue the studios if they wanted to get the court case. So this does, to me, make sense that they would address this. And I think a reason this isn't in contracts already is just because it's a new technology. People just haven't had time to think about it too much. So it does make sense, and I do believe this will be something addressed in the contracts where when you do get scanned for something, you're more or less licensing your likeness for that particular project and nothing else in the future. Just because, like I said, I don't see them in at least anytime soon being cost effective just to hire an actor versus having a digital recreation of an actor throughout the whole project. But with background people, especially when it comes to the crowd scenes, like, yeah, I mean, I can see you just have like thousands of scans of various people on your computer already. It's like you just pluck them out as an asset and just drop them into the background, and there you go. But so, yeah, maybe that's going to be something, and it's important to address that in the future. And like, I think that's a pretty legitimate concern from them. But like I said, this should be something it's just easily reconciled because it's a new technology. They've never talked about it. And now that since this is the first time they're talking about it, I think some deal will be reached. And in a few years, when it comes to renegotiate the contract, we'll see how they tweak it. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure you click that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.